Hello, welcome to dev stream number 51. I'm a bit late today, my apologies. So we're going to be finishing up that cutscene that we were working on before in, I believe it was stream 49. So just to show what we have so far and a description of this is going to be the cut where we first meet the legendary alchemist through the statue, through communing with it. This guy over here. I have to remove these two bottom statues here, but he's essentially using these statues of himself to commune with the player. We'll just cheat load in just to show what we have. So it's just like the beach area where it starts out with this fenced off area so we can direct the player exactly where we want to go. So we're going to make him walk down here, and this is just being prototyped out. It's not like this is... The camera work needs angled and stuff still, so you see it gets a little too close here. Transition's a little... But this is essentially it. This angle is accidental. But that's sick. You can see his eyes glow up. So whenever he's close to the statue, the eyes will glow. Whenever he gets away, they fade. That's just to show that you're communing with it, that there's a presence. So we're just going to be setting up that cutscene, having some dialogue. The dialogue's not written out yet or nothing, so we'll just be working on that. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out today, and let's get to it. So it's just, I'm only going to be here for like an hour. So like I said, I'm a bit late, so I apologize for that. But we will be back later for the gaming stream. So we're probably just gonna get this done today. You can see here we have this timeline. We got a couple cameras going. This one, oh yeah, because it's on a dolly, it'll animate over there. But we set the animation up for the first camera down here, as you can see. So there's two ways to do dolly setups for Cinemachine with timeline. You can either just have the dolly cart run at whatever speed it has, or you can put a animator on it and you can control the position your timeline, and you'll see, like, it'll lerp between the two states. So we have that. So first off, that's a little too close. I wanted a nice like walk by, but just the way that it zooms kind of goes past him as well. What we would like is we might even get rid of the dolly for this and just have like a shot. I'm thinking a shot where... let's replay that again. Sometimes it's nice to replay it from the start and then picture in your head what you actually want. I wasn't sure how to do this one. I didn't have a big plan coming into this one in DevStream 49 or whatever it was. Just kind of putting it together. I believe it's at the end. So we see the camera goes there. I don't like that. I think the camera should be kind of... the player camera is kind of... it's gonna have to, like, we can either fade the screen out and just have a camera positioned. Like, we could have it... so the player's here. We can either have the camera roughly somewhere approximating this position. So we could have it... if the box is here for the collision, we could have it like here. And we could have it just look at the player until he walks about here, maybe here. And then have it... we can also have a target group where it'll look at the center between the two objects. So as he gets closer, the center will obviously move. Have something like that. Or we could have a shot where we see the character walking from the thing, and then maybe it pans this way, reveals him. But we also have to take into account, like, the players walking this way. Some players are going to be looking at the statue and thinking, oh, I'm going to go check that out. So we don't want to, like... I don't want them to be able to, like, go to the left or the right and then exit the village. Just heads up. I want them to get caught right here and be forced into this. So I think what I might do is I might have we're gonna try the camera going just over from the player camera, which would be over on the left side here. This is how it would be kind of like as they're walking. And we'll just maybe like blend it over to a camera like this. And we'll have our character go out here. And then it'll maybe like go here. And maybe it'll rise up and his eyes will light up or something. And we'll have that be the indication that we should go talk to him. Um, or I'm because I can either make it so that it's optional to talk to him. I think that's a bad idea. I think we'll have to make like if we make it mandatory to talk to him, when we do the close up of his eyes glowing up, we have to like kind of go back and have the player walk in, something like that. We'll figure it out. So let's go back into the village, open that up, and we're gonna go on to the meeting the legendary alchemist cutscene on our left here. And this is a nice little way to sort out your hierarchy, by the way. Just make an empty game object, fill it full of these dashes, and my apologies. Let me move my camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Just make a new object like this and put dashes in it. And it's just an empty game object. Doesn't matter where it's situated. Just helps you sort out the hierarchy a bit. Very useful. I can't remember where I saw that. It was on like some game developer video. But ever since I've seen it, I'm like, I can't unsee it. I have to use it. So we're going to grab Action Camera 1 because it's the first one, and we're going to work with that. So right now you see it's going this way, and I like to have my camera in the top left because I noticed... We'll have a top left. I noticed when I put up the thumbnails, or when I'm on the YouTube, because this is mostly for the VODs, um, the time of the video covers the whole webcam, so um, it keeps the VODs generate when you upload it to YouTube. For people who haven't uploaded to YouTube, it generates 3 thumbnails for to use as the title or as the thumbnail if you don't want to make your own, and the algorithm picks out different facial emotions. So I go like this when I'm thinking a lot. So a lot of my thumbnails are me going like this, not because I've selected them, but because that's what it defaults to. Or it'll get a thumbnail of me drinking. Cheers. And with the timer and my profile in the bottom right, and by timer I mean the duration of the video, it just covers the whatever facial emotion I'm making. So it kind of like hinders the quality of the thumbnail if I'm in the bottom right. That's what I'm trying to say here. Anyways, let's get back to this. So I don't like this action camera's positioning. I think we're going to take it off of a dolly as well. Because the dolly's nice. I think we could just do this just by blending right now. So let's position the camera. So if you click the camera, and I believe it's Control-Shift-F. It's not going to work though because it's not alone. So in fact, let's just take this whole camera setup here and just get rid of it. And we're going to go to Cinemachine. I believe it's Free Look Camera. The one that doesn't have the axis control, that has the axis control. So we want a virtual camera, my mistake. Cinemachine, virtual camera. Call this Action Camera 1. And we just put that right in there, right under that scene. And you'll see it defaults to whatever your scene view is. If you want to shift that, just click on Action Camera 1. Control-Shift-F. Control-Shift-F. Look how it's moving in the left side. That's the camera angle we're going for. Or that's how we're going to set up a camera angle, and we'll know. So this is roughly the box where... Let's put that up. So you can see this is roughly the box where the cutscene starts. So as soon as the player hits there... So we don't want this transition to be too much, so we're going to grab this camera, Control-Shift-F. We still want it to go. So it's going to be like... The scene's going to be like the camera's getting left behind. That's how we're going to probably play this, but it's going to be at maybe an angle. Or maybe we'll make it... We'll try an angle, then we'll try... Maybe we'll do like right behind. See, I have this... This little circle here is the lock-on HUD, and it's just in the center when it's... It's just always in the center, and when it gets turned on, it moves. But for now, it's in the center. So I kind of use that as like a makeshift uh, reticle. So there we go. That's kind of like the middle. That's where the player is going to walk to. So we're going to keep that. We're going to go up into the timeline. It's all F-word now. Delete action camera 1, close down action camera 2, drag action camera 1 onto the scene. Actually, forget that. I meant to say drag it over here into the timeline because of the cinema machine. Because we're no longer using, you can see the player camera into this camera. We're no longer using any cinema machine tracks or anything, or animators. So we just keep that going. And then it will transition to action camera 2, which we'll have to set up. What we want to look at, we want to set that to player manager, player. And in fact, I screwed up there. We want it to be the look at object, the camera look at object that we have in here. So the reason there's a look at object and a camera look at the reason there's the player and then there's a camera look at object within him is because if you see when we select player, it's the reticle down here, the gizmo, is at the bottom. So we don't want the camera to be looking at his feet for this shot. Maybe if like an action shot of him moving. But the camera look at is just in the center of his head. So the camera, this is what when we're actually playing the game, the camera is looking at the back of his head. It's just an empty game object located in the back of his head. So we're not looking at his feet. We're looking where this is. Not like this, like this. Simple. Very useful. Very good. Now we're gonna close that down, go to action camera 1. It is now going to be looking at the player, so we don't have to animate anything. Everything will be taken care of by itself, and you see that target, that reticle that I talked about on the left-hand side, it's just always selected on the back of his head. So we're just going to lock it in like that. He's going to stop moving. Then we're going to zoom up into him. And we're probably going to figure out how I can get those eyes to glow up without the script. Or rather with the script, because we have a emission handler and an emission by proximity. I programmed these a while ago. I'm not sure how I set them up, so we're just gonna have to open them up. I'm pretty sure one handles the emission turning on and off, like the lerping, and the other handles the way it gets triggered. So this is the emission by proximity, and it just gets the emission handler over here, and it tells it to lerp emission on. So the reason we do that is because let me open up emission handler. One of the design philosophies for components is the component should do one thing, so it's more modular. And I'm not saying you should do this for everything. I'm really bad for not doing this. But this component is emission by proximity, so its only purpose is to say, hey, this thing is in range, and if it is in range, let's turn on the emission. And an emission handler, it's got all this other stuff, and its only purpose is to say, hey, I'm lerping between these two colors. So they each have a purpose. It kind of does stack up the hierarchy on the right, the inspector, because you have so many multiple things. But it kind of just keeps it a little cleaner and more modular. So we won't be using anything from the emission by proximity. It'll all be done by emission handler. Now I can't recall if I can call excuse me, I don't remember if I can call this through. I don't want to do that. I think I have to use signals. So if you right click, you can say show markers, and you can do a signal emitter. You can add a receiver, and then you can you have these little signals that you can create. I have a few different ones created. We'll just call function call 1, and what this essentially is doing, and then we'll add a reaction. What this is doing is saying essentially when the timeline gets to this arrow, what we're going to do is we're going to signal, and then this signal goes out, and then any receiver waiting for this signal, this function call 1, will play this this event essentially. It's just an event system. So what we can do is we can drag over the Alchemist statue, and we can go to emission handler, and we can probably turn emission on. So turn on emission, so hopefully that works about here. So we'll go and then put this here, and we're just gonna see what that looks like for now. It's not, again, like the best way to make cutscenes is just make a rough thing and then go back and then add to it and then add to it and add it's blocking it out really. Cheat load. Cheat load's just our way of loading in the game on any level we want. Because when we run it from scene, we don't have the level manager and stuff. I don't have a script that checks if it's present and then spawns it in if it's not. I didn't like that transition at all. That lerped way too fast. So that's a no-go. There's two things that kind of suck there. I think because we're making this a pre-fade, so if we go to cutscene control, this is a script I made. It plays a pre-fade, which means that when the cutscene starts, the screen fades in and then it fades out. So it just gives us a second to move the player around and position the camera and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, at the start of our timeline here, we have this little thing here, which is the player camera. We're just going to get rid of that and extend it, the action camera out. So it's just going to pre-fade, and then when it comes back, it's just going to be this camera angle. We're not going to blend it in. Sometimes it's good to blend it in, but a lot of the times what will happen, it's very situational because you want to blend it if there's no pre-fade because you don't want the camera to cut super fast and disorient the player. Because you have to imagine like sometimes the player's gonna be walking and they're gonna be like swinging their camera around like this, and then suddenly it just gets grabbed and it's like over here. You don't want to do that. I mean, situations, perhaps in certain situations. But if you pre-fade, then instead of just grabbing this camera, it just here, and then you don't blend it. So we'll see if that works. And emission handler, turn on emission, lerp emission on. So that's why I think we need that lerp emission on. We'll just run this from the top again. See how that looks. So we're running and it's going to just take my camera. So if we were like this, we're just like looking behind us and we're just walking like this, it would just like jump like boom. But now it's like that transition there. There it lerps on. Then here we walk. Then our eyes light up. So I ideally would like to get a shot where both their eyes light up at once. Or something like that. I'm not sure. We also don't need the player's eyes to lerp or light up right now because he's just starting. So I don't even know if he's going to have that connection. And the way that the lerp works, by the way, it's just an emission map. It just turns the emission map to, I'll show you. Get rid of maximize on play. We have our own pause button here. Just click on the player, go to his, here we are. It's just the emission map, and you just take the color, and when it's white, it's not getting like blocked out. It's reflecting all of the light, so to speak. And then when it's black, it's just like it's absorbing all of the light, I guess. I mean, that's not how this works exactly, because it's, I mean, it is an emission map. I'm not sure how it works. I just know that, you know, that's the basis of it. So there it's showing, there's it's not. So we just lerp it between black and white. That's all we do. Now I actually might have to make that default back to not showing the eyes. Let me just check that real quick. Okay, we're good. Okay, so back to the cutscene because I don't have a lot of time. Go to the village. And we're going to just go grab that Alchemist cutscene again. And I think this was alright for a starting camera angle. We might think about it. Because this is supposed to be a pretty important cutscene. Now this happens for too long. So we do want the eyes to light up as soon as we look at it. because it's kind of like a sign to him. Like he stops, he looks at it, and then its eyes light up as if it's calling to him. And then I think I'm gonna get rid of the dolly for the second setup as well. See, the reason um it's good to have a dolly is because it keeps the camera moving, and you want to have you either want to have the characters moving every 20 seconds or the camera moving. I don't know what it's some. I have it in my notes for like cinematography. Um, watched a couple videos. I need to watch some more. You want to have everything moving so it doesn't seem like stale or paused or whatever. The second camera is gonna look. Is maybe gonna be a zoom, and okay, it's not. Oh, it's because I copy and paste. I duplicated it, so it's trying to look at the player. We'll just say none, and we'll hit Control Shift F again, and we'll maybe get like a straight on angle, and we'll just have that kind of zoom in. So we'll see here. Zoom in like that. The eyes glow up, eyes light up, and then what we want is we want transition probably back to either action camera 1 or another camera off to the side. So let's just make Control Shift D. Whoops. Control D rather, not Control Shift. Just add a third camera. Let's see. And there's a thing called the 180 rule. I talk about this every time that I do timeline work. You always want to have there be like an invisible line in the ground. And this is like where the eyes meet of the two people or whoever's talking, or just like between the people. And you never want to, you always want to stay on that side. So it's like staying in this line. So if we're going to be talking back and forth, it's always going to be this way and this way, right? This guy's going to be on the right. The legendary alchemist statue is on the right, and Brew's going to be on the left. Or we could have it this way, but because we start from over here, we're going to have it on the right, because once you go from here and then you start dancing over here, then you start dancing over here and then over here, it disorients the viewer, especially if it's their first time in the area, which it is. If we've been like flying around this whole time and you get like you've seen like the environment, it's not so bad, I suppose. Um, but you want to like if yeah, you want to have it like um within this 180-degree line. Anyways, let's take this action camera 3, and this is where we'll probably have this one go back this way, something like that. And then we'll just drag this action camera 3 onto here. So it'll be like it'll be containing that. I don't know how long I'm going to make these transitions. I find it hard to time out the transitions until it's actually complete. So take that idle off. So let's just. So we want to be idling to about here. And this is. Small pause like that. Oh, idle this one in. The actual play button. That seemed a little jarring. I don't know if that's just how it's blended. Let me just check. Bit of a slide. So let's just right click this and say match the previous clips. Hope that. No, it's just how it blends. So let me see here what's. Yeah, so if we stop this about here, That doesn't really slide as much. Give him a little bit more blend time. That's not as bad. Too much of a pause now. Let's just cheese it and move it like this. Extend the camera length. They play. Goes up. He walks. And this one should actually look at the player too, I think. Maybe this one will look at the player's feet. Because that's what we're looking at, right? We're looking at him walk over. Bit of a long walk. Maybe walking him to here is best. Because walking up this close is all right, but it's we don't need it. We don't need them to be that close. Because this isn't like a real life conversation where you have like this is a safe distance, and also this line here, which is actually lined up with this camera here. You can see a gizmo. I like that level. Whoops. Whereas over here, it's like I'm looking up at his chin. So yeah, we'll stop him here. So we'll say that he gets to like the rim of this grass. Make sure that the movement is complete here. And we'll take this idle and transition him in and right click, match the previous offset. Kind of does a little slide there. So sorry, rather this side needs to be lessened. Whoops. Take this off. Yeah, see, it's still like half there. We want to blend it into that one. Sometimes it gets a little annoying. Sometimes the blending sucks. There we go. That's a bit better. He doesn't slide as much. Quick blend. Yeah, sometimes for the transition to idle, you want it to just be really fast and just like you want it to be fast. You don't want it to you want it to go right to that. You also have to get the right leg blending in. You see like his right leg blends in there and his left leg just like jets out. That works. Now we could either switch the look at the camera by animating it or just put it in another camera. I'm gonna just put in another camera. Camera 4. And I have to get rid of the look at again. And this one is just gonna be probably like this. Oh, maybe I should lower these camera angles. One of the things is if you have like a camera angle looking up, it makes them look strong. And if you have a camera angle looking down, it makes them look small, right? So you even have like a bit of a tilt like this. Let me see what that looks like actually. Put in camera 4. And there you can kind of see there's like a power dynamic. That's not a bad shot. Like you can see he's like an imposing figure almost. Not in a bad way, but we might just do a cut. I don't know if we have to, because if we blend this, it's gonna like go down here like that, which isn't bad. Yeah, maybe we'll blend it. And we'll just extend this idle. And then this is gonna be the conversing, and then we gotta make sure that they're always moving. So like I think it said, I think in the video I saw, like it says moving around, but I think for this, because it's a video game, I think as long as they're doing like animations, it's fine. Um, if not, we'll just move the camera back and forth. And I call these action cameras, but I don't. It's probably not like action camera. It's more like a portrait camera or sh- long shot camera or something like that. So we'll just save that. And then we'll right click, add dialogue clip. Is a custom class. Add an ease in duration of 0.25 and 0. Oh, sorry, I have to add them up here. I should remove that from the public variable then, so we don't edit these. Okay, 1 second. I have to get my dog. 1 second. Sorry about this. Okay, my apologies. I've returned. Get my headphones on. There we are. Okay, so this is the dialogue clip class that I made. You can make custom playables. I think they're called playables. Let's open up the script. Yeah, playable assets. You can create your own custom playable assets on the timeline. I'll be honest, I don't understand it too much. I mean, it's fairly straightforward, but there's a lot of stuff that's just behind the scenes that I don't really understand. So we can do dialogue this way. I'm going to eventually have it so that all dialogue is put through a dialogue object, which will have an option to change the language or something. That's how I'm going to do localization. I don't know if that's a great way to do it. I've never done localization before, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, so it's not going to work here, but when the timeline gets to this dialogue clip, this ease in and ease out duration are essentially blends, and they blend the state of the dialogue box, which is like a 0 to 1, So when it's at 1, which is when it's not when it's fully blended, it'll be at its full animation, and when it's at 0, it'll be at it'll be at the closed animation. So it's animating between closed and open. So it'll go up and then it'll go down. When it eases in, it'll go up. When it eases out, it'll go down. I will show everyone that. And we just put in dialogue text. We'll say, well, hello there, traveler. He's not going to sound like that. I don't have any dialogue prepared. And we'll call him statue. Talking statue for now. And we have the legendary alchemist statue here. It's not the best face shot. We'll work on that. Update that. Control S to save. Open up the title. Run it from the top, and we'll see what that cutscene looks like. It's not out yet, but it should be roughly what we want in terms of time. Just walk forward here. Hit the pre-fade. Kind of was laggy there. Eyes light up. We walk over. It's too long of a walk. Goes to this cutscene. Our eyes light up. Well, hello there, traveler. And then that's it. But you see how it goes up and goes down. So this is the range for the player's eyes to turn on, actually. It actually just reaches the range. I wasn't sure if I was going to have the player's eyes light up. But that to me is a sign to have the player's eyes light up. Because it's literally just like, this is the range. As soon as he steps past there, he starts to unlerp. As soon as he touches the grass. I don't know if I set that up. I don't know if there's a proximity range. I think it's just their collider. Yeah. So I'll have that as a sign that he should have his eyes light up. And it's going to be something like the dialogue will be like, oh, you can sense me. Because the idea is that not everyone obviously can communicate with the statue, or not everyone can do alchemy, the magic system in this game. Only a select few. And by select, I mean it's going to be those who are like pure of heart, or those who have, well, not pure of heart, but something. We'll figure it out. We have a few different ideas in the sticky notes. We're just not sure yet. So he's going to say, oh, you can sense me or something. And then there'll be dialogue that says something like, it'll just be like a, I have to really think out the dialogue, but it'll essentially just be like, oh, you can sense me. Then he'll say something like, a traveler from another world. And then something like, I don't know, like it's so, here's the idea. For those of you who are new, and for those of you who've been following around, following the streams around, the characters summoned from a different place, and they were trying to summon a legendary alchemist to save them, but they didn't summon him. He's actually like long gone. That's why he communicates to us through the statue, because he's like a spirit now. He's part of the world. He's part of the world spirits, so to speak. And we get summoned instead. And the spell that summons us is called Hero Summon. So our character is a hero. It's just that when they see him, just like in Brave Fensu Musashi, he's short of stature, he's a little bit too young, and he doesn't really have any experience with alchemy. So for him to be walking up to the statue, and the statue is actually communicating with him, that's like the first sign that the player gets, other than the hero summon, that like, okay, yeah, I mean, the player's gonna know that their character's special, right? But this is like the first like confirmation, like, hey, this is not normal. I suppose like you have the ability to do this. So it's gonna be essentially like just some dialogue back and forth between these two. Just like in Brave Fencer Musashi, yes. Hey Abs, welcome to the stream. Yeah, a lot of this Brave Fencer Musashi is a great game, so a lot of this intro is gonna be kind of like synthesized of it. Very good. I love the intro to that game. So we're gonna have so this is gonna be like the first inclination that there's something special about our character other than the hero summon. So we want to have it or rather how to put this, like, is like the alchemy is not normal. The ability to have these powers is not normal. So this is the first inclination that we get that our character is like special in a way. So we're gonna say like a traveler from another world. Um, you can sense me, and we'll sort out this dialogue into multiple clips later. Because right now it's just one dialogue clip down here, so it'll kind of like it'll stack onto the screen. Um, not many can hear my call, something like that. And then he's gonna say, the player will speak, and then he'll say like yes, a terrible curse has fallen the land, befallen fallen on this land. Um, you and it's gonna. I'm just gonna write the whole thing in one dialogue text, and then it'll get separated out later. You may be just what we need to save this island, world island. Um, not many can hear my voice, but you seem to be one of the few. I don't know. We'll work on the dialogue. We'll work on it. And then he's gonna essentially say what he's gonna say is south of here through the jungle is a tribe that has um that that is on its last legs or something. I'm not sure. Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Hey Vay, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well as well. Hope everyone's doing well. We're doing this cutscene real quick about the meeting of the alchemist statue. Well, the legendary alchemist through the statue that the player communes with, and it's just going to be their first meeting. So we're just working on that right now. It's actually going to be a bit of a shorter stream today because I got to leave soon, so I'm going to be going till 4. But I will be back later tonight. So we're going to just try to write out some dialogue for this. Nice, fairly early cutscene, I take it? Yeah, this is going to be one of the first... we're going to give the player the ability to control the character for like 3 seconds, and then we're going to take it away and put him in a cutscene again, unfortunately. But it's going to be one of those, you walk out, zooms in, shows there's something special. All right, thanks for the heads up. No problem, no problem. And it's going to just have this dialogue unfold between the legendary alchemist, and it's just going to be a little bit of like information about what to do. I originally had the characters at the castle tell us what to do, but now I'm going to have it be this guy tells us what to do. So he's going to say south of here through the jungle is a tribe in peril. Tribe in peril. And this is just temporary dialogue. Go there and see if you have what it takes to save this island. Something like that. So he's going to give us the first direction instead of the people at Castle Cauldron. He's the people in Castle Cauldron. They're actually gonna. I'm gonna make them so they're actually like really disappointed that they summoned us. They're gonna be like, oh, he doesn't look like a hero. He can't even do alchemy. Blah blah blah. And then he's gonna be like told, don't worry. If you still want to help us, you can help us. And we'll be like, sure. And we'll be sent out here to see what the villagers need. And then this is when we'll encounter the statue, and the statue character is going to be the guide. They're going to be like the spirit that watches over us and helps us complete the game. They're all going to doubt, but they'll learn. Exactly. One of the things that's going to happen is after we clear the first dungeon, we're gonna have the power of alchemy. So I'm gonna have the player come back here with the jungle goblins, perhaps. This is why they have like huts over here. And they're going to protect the village. And also the player's gonna. I'm not sure if they're gonna have the ability to heal these people right away after the first dungeon or after the second one, but they'll just gradually see the character improving everything and then solving the problems, and then they'll be like, oh shit, something roughly like that. Okay, so we got the dialogue here, and then we're gonna have we can't have cameras that like switch up like this, and then cameras that go back like this. We could have that, or we could just have this one shot. I'm not really sure yet. Nice, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we're almost done the jungle area as well, so we'll be able to put everything together soon, which is gonna be nice. I'm gonna call this the statue face camera, and we'll make another one called the player face camera, and we're just gonna have it zoom in like this, and then I'm just gonna see what it looks like if we just have this in here. And we're gonna grab the statue face camera, and we're just gonna aim it like this. Or we have to have, we don't want it to move too much from the middle point. But what I might do is I might move this one manually because it's, oh, I gotta set it to 12 here. Um, and just move it like this. I don't want it to like, no, never mind. I was gonna say like I don't want it to leave that area too much, but it's actually a little too far away. Oh wait, it's already almost 4 for you. I was thinking about my time where it's only about to be 1. Don't, yeah, it's almost 4 here. Yeah, so I'll be leaving pretty shortly. I've got some stuff I have to do, but I will return. I guess you're 3 hours behind me, so I will return at 3 p.m. for you. 6 p.m. here. And we'll hit Control Shift F. We should still have this a bit lower and looking upwards. And we'll hit that there. So maybe this camera. And the player, we know they're about here, so we'll just have it go here. And it's going to be like a higher camera angle to make us look smaller. It's the 12, so I know it's switched. And all of these cameras should actually have a priority of 1, so they never get taken as the main camera. Glad I made it for a bit of the dev vlogs. Awesome, glad you made it here, man. It's fun having people around here, checking this stuff out, hanging out. It's a good time. Um, this transition, a bit harsh. I realize now that we're actually at an angle at the start here, down here, so this might be a little like weird of a transition. But we'll try it out anyways. We'll see what it looks like. So we'll have him talking here, and we'll add our first signal emitter here for the wait for input. So our second signal emitter, but this one's going to be the wait for input signal. And this is just a custom thing in cutscene control called wait for input, and all it does is it waits for the player to put through input. Let's open that up. And so we have this wait for input. It just pauses the cutscene, stops all the coroutines, and in the script, and then it says wait for input. So that's to wait for the player to select something. Yeah, it's this. It's essentially when we hit the interact input, when we release it, it just resumes the cutscene. Now this kind of code here, where it says for semicolon semicolon, this is like dark magic to me. I don't know what this really means. I'm imagining this is just like a way to say it's blank. It's just waiting. It's like a while loop that's done this way. Um, I can't remember why I put this here. I probably got this code from somewhere else. Um, this magical like wait and background thing. But that just goes off, and I think we also have a update. No, this is for skipping the timeline. Yeah, so it just pauses everything and then puts a coroutine up that waits for us to hit this or to release the interact key. So we'll have that, and then we're just gonna make this real quick. where we're going to switch back to the player camera just to see what it looks like. And then we'll have the idle motion extend up to here. And then we're going to put in add animation clip, basic motion talk. And we'll do talk number 2. Fuck it. We'll just do 2. Right click, match the previous offsets. Okay, that's a little animated for our player, but we'll keep it. Blend that in. That's definitely the wrong talkie motion. So what we'll do is we'll put another wait for input emitter and signal. We just put it right here. Go to signal, wait for input signal. So this will emit this signal and then this will react for it. This is the signal receiver. Dark magic, yeah. Some coding is like literally dark magic. It's just like we know not what it means, only what it do. And it looks like a sad face too. It looks like an emote with 2 eyes and tears coming down. It's a sad piece of code. I'm going to switch this from basic motion talk 2 to talk 1. That one's a little less, I guess. That doesn't even look that different. Talk 3. One of them's just like his hand out. There we are. I need to get another animation pack for talking. And we'll just drag this out here. And we'll also blend these to start because we might as well. Yeah, unknowable, yep. The closer it is to assembly, the less I know. Wave that wand and make the code work, exactly. Yeah, some coders, some programmers are like literally like they've been around for a long time. They know the mystic arts of assembly language. They can speak in like they can speak in memory, like computer memory and RAM, so they know like they do things like like symbols like this 00 like 112, like it's just weird coding stuff that I don't understand. Okay, we'll compile this and run it in the script or the title from title. Oh, okay, what did I do? I was doing that thing where I put in OS and it just says COS for some reason. Title. That's impressive. Yeah, some people are like they're doing like things called bit operations and all that. It's not really useful today, but the closer your language there's high level languages and low level languages. And that's not to say like high level is better than low level. The way it's set is like high level is more readable, so it's more English than anything, whereas low level languages are more like computer speak. And assembly is like the lowest level language you can get, I believe. And people who understand assembly programming are like they might as well just be computers. They speak computer. Because programming is the language. That's why they call it programming language. It's the language of the computer in a way. It's like an intricate way to cast a spell. Okay, we load in. There's a bit of a pause there. I think the fade needs to be a little longer. It seems to be like setting something up. The eyes glow up. We walk forward. Our eyes. That was a little fast. We should probably pre-lerp the eyes so they're going up there. It pauses. It blends up to him. It blends back to us for way too long, and then we do our little talk emote. Yeah, so that was all right. So the eyes are a little off there. Um, Open the title back again. It was a bit too long of a pause, and I don't like. Oh, not the title. The village. I don't really like the amount of time the player is walking for. It kind of seems like it's just like do 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 do. So what we might do is actually have what we can do is we can grab this and just move the camera just before he's done walking. Just move the camera, and that just makes it a little bit better. So instead of staring at him for like 3 seconds, we're just even like here, like grab this here, move it a little bit over. Just hit play real quick, see what that looks like. Starts walking, it's a little long, and then we boom. And he's always in the left side of the frame. That's perfectly timed. And then we just get this. It goes up to there. He speaks. And then we speak. This camera is not. So it goes in like that. We could just go back to this camera and then have the player talk up at him. But then it might be weird when we just like keep zooming in on his face whenever he speaks. But this camera shot here is a little bad, I think. So we're going to take this player face camera, and it's just going to be... Oh, it's kind of hard to visualize this without the character standing there. Character is like right below this column, slightly to the left, so he's about the door. Take the player face camera here. See, we'll move this one manually. And you don't want to, you want to make sure you're on global space, the movement. So if I move my thing here, you can see at the top left here, there's global, local. If you hit the X key, it just switches between them. If you're on local, it's going to rotate on this axis, and it's really bizarre. It's like it'll make like a Dutch angle, like a 45-degree angle real fast. So just make sure this is on global, and then just rotate it, move it a little bit. So we kind of want to get this. There's a, maybe like this. There's an idea in cinematography about thirds, or even like photographs. So if you have, there's, if you drew like imaginary lines to split the view in like the 3 sections on the horizontal and vertical lines, you want your characters to be roughly on these intersection points. So here it's not so bad. Hold on, what am I switching there? Player face camera. If we move him here and we go here, here he's like more in the thirds. So this is like more like, this is better. You can also do something like a golden triangle ratio. I can't remember what it is. It's like you draw a line from here to here from the corners, and then you create a right angle from that line to here. So that would mean if we placed him about here, it would be okay too. But we'd have to have something placed here. That's kind of like, almost like this shot here. You can see like if there's a right angle between these two areas, he would be here. And if you had a right angle between here and this line, he would be roughly here. So there's a bit of like, and it would be obviously higher up on this side than that side. Kind of. Just because of how it's split, from what I'm to understand. So we have to like keep these angles in mind. This, like, he could actually be moved a little bit to the right here. That would probably be better. And then now he's a little bit to the left, so that's a bit better. So let's just take this one, the statue face camera. This one will be easy because the statue's already here. And we'll just make sure we're in local, hit E. And whoops. Maybe not. Don't want to rotate that, just move him slightly like this. Kind of want him in the section here. It doesn't need to be done for everything. And if it makes the shot look worse, it's obviously not worth it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling that one, so let's Control Z that. The camera needs to just be moved a little bit. That's all. And this one, I am going to move it on the local axis just so it stays a little bit more consistent. And keep it like that. And then we'll put this back to 1 and this back to 1. And we'll go into the camera here. And I'll actually just hit play instead of dragging so it's the actual time. That looks, I think, a bit better. Yeah, so they're in their own section. So he's on the left quadrant here. And then he's on the like rightest quadrant. And they're at this 180-degree angle, so it shouldn't be confusing where the camera's orientated. So that's pretty good. So we'll just run it from the top one more time, as it is 3:57. So I'm going to run it from the top, and then I'll probably stop there. So let's maximize on play and just see. We have like we just been playing around, trying to make it look a lot better. It's a lot better than it was. But for an hour, that's not bad. Just walking. It's going to take control of our camera. It's a bit of a pause there that I mentioned last time that needs to be fixed. I forgot to deal with the lerping of the eyes. And now the camera moves a little bit earlier, so it's not so stiff. I still don't like how long it's staying still. And there's the angles, so that's not bad. I feel like the angles might be a little too zoomed in, actually, compared to the original shot, where they're like down like this. So we might fix that, change that a bit another time, but that's it for now. Pause this here. Yeah, looks really good, man. Good progress this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'll try to. I was a bit late today. My apologies. I'll try to get this schedule sorted a bit better. But thank you all for hanging out. It was fun. Thank you all for chatting, and I'll see you guys later. Be safe, my friends. See you later. Thank you. Thank you. You as well. Be safe. And I'll see you. Yeah, see you later. I'll see you guys for the game stream. Cheers.